Hi there, welcome to the video. You have come to the right place. You may wonder, why am I like this? How did I end up here? Well, I'll explain that in just a second with a backstory. But as you can tell by the title of the video, hands-free healing. Never really been done before, but let's experiment and see what can come about. Now, the patient today, the experiment is performed on Sharon, an individual that has extensive healing experience. So they're more in tune with their mind and their body when it comes to the unknown and external objects being used. But this time round, no hands, obviously, no whip, but my mouth. My mouth can also heal people. How often do I use my mouth though? Not at all, not really. So we'll see how it goes today. Whilst my healing sessions have been completely free of charge, does that mean that there is no charge when it comes to me using my mouth as well to get things done? It's all free because I'm such a good individual. All it takes is a few words, the vibration and tone of one's vocal cords and voice to transmit healing effects towards someone. I'm sorry, what was that? Oh, you were thinking the mouth served other uses and purposes. No, yours does, fam. Anyway, we need to focus in on some comments and backstory first of all, don't we? Let's head on over. At first glance, we had an outsider's perspective, known as Watcher of Crazy and many other tools. 4 days ago, she said, well, what do we have here? Sharon, make him work hard for it, lol. Does that sound? Gotta work hard for it like a good little dog? You gonna make me bark again? There's been a first? Shh. In response, Sharon was laughing with complete joy. And to be fair, I think her range would be they're not on the receiving end like Warlike Ref. That aside, Sunny popped on in to say, you have to ask Sharon or beg. Even Sharon found that very funny because she knows that's what it takes to be unleashed. But am I really prepared to do that? Am I honestly going to beg to be unchained? Oh Sharon, miss, please Miss Sharon, unsheath me, let me go so I can walk free again. I will do whatever you want, Miss Sharon. Yeah, right. Really? That aside, Sharon does say, well, to be honest, I copped a feel whilst you were healing me, and you were hard. Muscles, I mean. And that would be true. We're doing extensive, intense exercises, not quite to the same level as what Sharon does, but the exercises have been good enough to stimulate the muscles, the growth, the vascularity in some areas. Now, does this mean that Sharon was checking the surface area at the time of when Raph was most vulnerable locked up? Not quite. This is actually an archive from some previous healing session when it was being conducted and Sharon extended her reach and grasp. It's good to know that she has a firm understanding of what's most important and at hand. But that aside, a key individual from the past, Badger Life, with all them muscles, you should be able to muscle through that obstacle. And Sharon says, oh no, he won't. Is that Sam? Well, I'm more interested to know, Badger. When you say muscle through the obstacle, are we referring to the handcuffs or Sharon? Oh boy, where does that go from there? In terms of the cuffs, though, I tried shimmying and shaking as much as I can, rustling very loud, not to cause too much attention. I tried snatching, tugging and pulling, and the chains would not break. The key was nowhere to be seen because supposedly Sharon stores her key in a forbidden area. I don't know what that could mean, but probably out of reach, out of sight too. So, with days and days of trying, the cuffs slightly rusted. They were a little bit unstable, but my strength just wasn't enough to break through. It was a Herculean effort. But then Sharon said, "Ooh, you will get that hand again, trust me. I demand more. Yes, more healing." You heard me right. More very hard healing. Straight to the point. Now, when you see this, Sharon isn't simply demanding more. She is, with a big capital D, demanding more. But how can I give more when I'm incapacitated, when I'm not able to be mobile and move around? Well, Sharon did say, you have 5 minutes of freedom. You can get on with it. It just so happened that at that time, I had more pressing matters at hand. I know. Sharon was slightly disappointed, and then locked up once again. A new idea formed. How do I make it up to Sharon so she is satisfied, but then I have the chance to break free? Well, maybe an alternative form of healing. Oral healing. And that is why we are here right now. Around me, there are no objects or items, just my mouth, not so much the lips, but what comes out. That's what does the job. And whilst this is aimed at Sharon, I will explain the procedure in just a second, but for any other individual and those lurking in the shadows, this video could apply to one of you. It could help you too. So feel free to take notes and do what's necessary. I think it's time to begin. Isn't that right, Sharon? Isn't that right, audience? Okay. You need to sit back, lean back, and for that chair to be pointing more towards the ceiling, just like that. You see the light shining above. That's a good sign. Twist and turn, but do not move too much, okay? So, what happens now is you relax, you close your eyes into total darkness, which will then heighten all the other senses, your touch, your ears, how you feel, internally, externally, okay? And all I'm going to do is simply talk and explain. The reality is, this time round, Sharon, and for others, I don't know what the problem is. I'm completely blind to it. What area of the body does it hurt? Shh, don't tell me. Tell yourself within. I don't need to know, because I am not using any tools today. You are. How does that make sense? Well, let me make this very clear. I am passing on, in a way, healing onto yourself through your own touch, your own hands and fingertips. When applied to your own body, it can do the healing itself. So my voice can guide your hand to the desired place. Does that make sense? And then from there, you start implementing your movement with your hand, your fingers, whatever it may be, or fist, and heal within or on the outside, whether it be a pain, an ache, a strain, whether it be in the mind, it can be unwinded. You don't need to worry, it's all under control. And whilst I focus on Sharon, these instructions can apply to anyone else. Just take that in mind. So, Sharon, I don't know where the problem is, whether it's a pain, ache, or something completely different. The area on the outside or deep inside, like deep internal tissue, but that doesn't matter. What I want you to do, Sharon, close your eyes, breathe very, very slow, okay? Just like that. And repeat it over and over and slow it down bit by bit, but continue to breathe because that's needed. So I want you to use one of your hands right now, whether you're left-handed, right-handed, dominated, or both. Use whichever hand you want and tell your mind, where is the problem? Where do you feel pain? Where do you feel discomfort? Where do you feel a big build-up, a charge of energy surging through the body that needs to be released? Find that area, that place, pinpoint it on your body, wherever. And once you've done so, I want you to place your hand on that spot, your own hand. I want you to gently press to see how tense it is, or swollen, or check for the heat levels. Just slowly press and get a firm understanding of the area and what's going on. If you need to go a little bit deeper, if you need to use more than one finger, you can. Or you can use your whole palm, especially if it's on the chest or the thigh or even the shoulder, gripping on. Just pressing down ever so slightly. And if it doesn't hurt too much, go a little bit harder. If there are no issues, not too concerning, well then you can intensify it a little bit more. So as you're pressing and slightly squeezing up and down, applying a bit more force, going a bit deeper, maybe using 5 fingers, maybe 10, who knows how many you have. And then with that movement and that momentum building up, go in a circular motion, yeah? Like you're mixing something in a bowl, stimulating the area, warming the area up, activating the cells and the blood within, rising it to the surface to get it going. Is that working, Sharon? Whilst that, you need to take a few minutes to cool down, okay? If anyone needs to stop for a second, if it's getting too much. If you're about to be on the verge of releasing a lot of energy, slow down, okay? You don't want to further strain any muscles or whatnot. Once you have recovered, return back to what you were doing. Possibly change up the angle and position from where your hand comes from, and go round in a circular motion at times, going anti-clockwise to confuse the mind, the brain, for it to work better. And whilst you're doing that, apply your other hand and place it on top or by the side to apply that additional force, building up that energy over and over. Then I want you to go a little bit faster, building it up, intensifying it. If by some chance you start feeling pain elsewhere, quickly pull one of those hands away and see to that location and apply pressure there too. Maybe you need 2 fingers here, but 4 fingers there. Doesn't matter, you got 2 hands. They can do different things at the same time. to trap that pain, that issue, to isolate it, to concentrate all that energy there, to eliminate, dispel it, cleansing yourself, healing yourself by your own hands and mind. This voice, this tone, what comes out of this mouth, seeping into your mind, into your hands, building up. Yeah? Do you feel that warm glow? You feel that energy? It's rising to the surface level. That's a sign by it's working. I want you to go faster, faster, even faster. And once you get to that point, once you get to the mountaintop, you need to pull both hands or one away from the area and let go. Let it all be released. All that tension built up, that friction, the heat, let it be released. Yeah? And then what you need to do is get the Ref 316 holy water. Like this. Put a bit on. And then splash, splash in the area. In the name of Ref. Jesus! Like that. There we go. And then, whilst that's going on, the water connecting, conflicting with the heat, eliminating it, taking it out, evaporating all of it, getting a little bit lighter and a bit easier. This bag of scented nuts nearby to the face to wake you up from that deep focus, for the eyes to open once again and to see things in a new light. Sharon, wake up. There we go. Now, this form is experimental. It might work, it might not, maybe for some, but if extensive stuff is needed in the future, well, the actual tools can be used. The Doctor's Door is always open through YouTube and other platforms, you know. So, with that all being said and done, I think that will do.